Hi, good sir. How are you doing?
Yeah, wonderful.
Since
Thank you.
since
It's
since we
fantastic
were
to also meet Ravi ji on the
absolutely
online. Uh, I don't think without these online sessions we'd even be able to meet people like him. So pleasure.
what's best now, and that's maybe the God's plan. How about interaction between you both? I mean,
No,
that's the
no,
best.
no, no.
No, while Ramanan sir of course will set the motion, but Ravi sir, it'll be very nice to have like a I don't know. We should not be calling Karan Johar now, but like a coffee with Ravi and coffee with Ramanan sir together.
Only thing is, I have a meeting to go to at sharp at 11, which means I'll have to connect to them around 10:50. So, barring that, I'm fine.
Absolutely, sir. So maybe opening note by Ramanan sir, you, and then Ravi sir, and then maybe I could ask some silly questions.
No, I don't think any question is silly in the matter of artificial intelligence. So, first of all, thank you, Rohit, and thank you, Ravi ji, for giving me an opportunity to interact with all of you at the School of Artificial Intelligence. I hope everyone who is logged onto this call is healthy, safe, following the safeguards that need to be practiced during this COVID-19 crisis. And I do hope all of you are also will see this pass soon because this is something that has paralyzed nations across the world, disrupted supply chains, created national lockdowns, something that we have none of us have been familiar with or would like to continue. And I'm sure with some vaccine being found or some curative solution being found, and human ingenuity and some of the finest minds in the world working on this problem, I don't think that the solution is far off. But be that as it may, it is a great opportunity and privilege for me to be interacting with all of you because we are a country of 1.3 billion people. We have what they call as the demographic dividend. And the world of demographic dividend, and which is the envy of many a country, we have more than 65% of our country under 35 years old. We have more than 1.4 million schools in our country, 10,500 engineering or related institutions, more than 39,000 colleges, more than 5,000 business schools, and we have 150 million young students entering into the workplace over the next 5 to 10 years. Now, that's a very powerful force for any country to have. A youthful energy, which is the envy of many a nation, the ability to innovate, the tremendous talent that underlies all of this. And if we do not give our young people the ability to leverage emerging technologies, emerging economy, a fast growing economy that India has, barring the COVID-19 crisis, and leveraging the demographic dividend, we'd have done ourselves a disservice. For after all, the hopes of a billion people are dependent upon these 150 million young students who are going to be entering into the workplace. We are a country of a billion people, but with a million opportunities. And these million opportunities are really challenges that we have. We still have 22% of our country below the poverty line. We have 44% of our country agri-economy based. We have more than 700, we have 715 districts in our country, out of which 115 are known as aspirational districts. And these are districts which are deprived of basic access to healthcare, education, clean drinking water, sanitation, electricity, affordable housing, and so on. So while we enjoy being one of the fastest growing economies of the world, growing at 6 to 8% over the last several years, barring this COVID-19 crisis, and while we enjoy a demographic dividend, and while we have a 250 million plus population in the middle class economy, and that continues to grow, we also have all these challenges to address. And also, we are living in a world where technology is changing the very shape of the world, the way the world is experiencing you, and the way you are experiencing the world. 3D printing, robotics, IoT, miniaturized electronics, augmented virtual reality, all of these technologies are making a rapid advent into the marketplace. And the beauty is technology is becoming affordable, accessible, available, and advanced. and it is now available at your fingertips. And that is why at the Atal Innovation Mission, where I am so fortunate to be the mission director for this national initiative, this is the flagship initiative of the Government of India to be able to create and promote an ecosystem of innovation and entrepreneurship across the length and breadth of our country. Now, why are these two things so important? It is important because we need a nation of job creators, not just job seekers. And even if you are having a job seeking attitude or a need, you need to be entrepreneurial in your thinking. You need to be innovative in your thinking. You need to become a problem solver rather than just somebody who is executing some idea given to him or her. So we need to ensure that our country uniformly develops. And like I said, we have 715 districts. We have more than 4,000 towns. We have 600,000 villages. And we have only 8 tier 1 cities. And everybody is flocking to these 8 tier 1 cities. It's not a sustainable thing. We need to ensure that we have our country develops uniformly across. And that is where technology is going to play a tremendous role. And the topic here is artificial intelligence. Now, artificial intelligence has never been a very far away in our thinking. You go back, in my school days, we used to talk about artificial intelligence. And we continue. We saw movies like 2001 Space Odyssey and so on and so forth. All of them remained somewhat figments of imagination. But today, artificial intelligence has become a reality. And why is that? Because we have the convergence of communication, computing, and a whole lot of data processing technologies that have come to the fore, and which is enabling us to process large amounts of data, find meaningful patterns out of that, create decisions out of all the data that is being processed, and be able to act upon them. And so artificial intelligence has become a tremendous force to reckon with in the years ahead. And it will continue to dominate the way we are leveraging technology. Look at the way we have leveraged digital transformations today. Today, I have had the fortune and the opportunity to meet with Sri Ravi, who is an expert on this subject, and who's going to talk a lot more meaningful stuff to all of you all. But the fact that we are all connected together over the network, which otherwise we would have tried to plan a physical meeting, a workshop somewhere, a few people attending it, and we don't even know whether they are the interested people. Now you have the ability to reach out to the world and be able to attract the type of audience that wants to hear all the stuff that we are going to talk about. And that is the beauty of digital transformation. And you also have technologies like artificial intelligence, which is able to sort out and say whom you should target your talk to. And therefore, you're going to see AI play a role in everything that we do. There has been a lot of talk of artificial intelligence depriving you of jobs and so on and so forth. Yeah, AI is going to bring changes where you have been doing things mechanically in a desultory manner. You are not really interested in doing it. Some machine could have been doing it, but you have been doing it for lack of any other opportunity to do something else. Now AI frees up your mind and your ability to devote to skills that matter, to devote to challenges that will intrigue you, fill you with curiosity, and want you to solve. So I think the very important thing that Atal Innovation Mission is trying to do is establish that culture of innovation and problem solving in our young students. Every one of you should aspire to become a problem solver, an innovator, a job creator. Why? You have had the benefit of great education. And today it is no longer a risky proposition to become entrepreneur in your thinking or to become an innovator by choice. Thomas Alva Edison said that it is not 1,000 failures that I had, but 1,000 ways of not inventing the light bulb. And that is the spirit of an entrepreneur. The word fail does not exist in his or her dictionary. It means first attempt in learning. That's what Abdul Kalam said. He said the word fail is the first attempt in learning. And in the world of emerging technologies, we are going to have several learning steps. every one of them would be a learning for us to be able to move to the next level of solution and problem solving. We also at Atal Innovation Mission are seized upon this problem. One, creating a culture of innovation in our young, in our schools. So we have launched thousands of Atal tinkering labs where the latest of technologies like 3D printing, robotics, IoT devices, miniaturized electronics, augmented virtual reality, do-it-yourself kits are being implemented in schools across the country. We have selected over 10,000 schools in which the Atal Tinkering Labs are being launched, and more than 5,100 schools with 2.5 million students between grade 6 to grade 12 today have an opportunity to tinker with these technologies because these are do-it-yourself kits. And because they have become affordable, accessible, and available, we are able to implement these technologies in our schools. I mean, I didn't have access to a mobile phone until a decade ago. And we never thought about innovation. We never knew what sustainable development goals are. We never knew what entrepreneurship is all about. At least I didn't know even when I entered IIT. We were just interested in getting into a good university, get great marks, and join a good company or join the government. And I have done both now. I have been a part of TCS and I'm now part of the government. But you, my dear friends and students, have an immense opportunity to become entrepreneurs. But how do we become entrepreneurs? You need to have an ecosystem of entrepreneurship in the country. And so we are creating hundreds of what are known as Atal incubators. We want them to be world-class incubators, fostering world-class startups. India has a demographic dividend. Like I said, 150 million students. Every university worth its name should have a world-class incubator so that they give the opportunities for their startups, for their students to become entrepreneurial, and those who have the mind, the inclination, the aptitude, and the capability should express their capability and innovation potential through these startups. And so we have launched over 102 incubators in the last 2 years. More than 1,500 startups have come out from that. And what is more amazing is that 547 of these 1,500 startups are women-led startups. Now that talks about the power of including women entrepreneurs in this journey. India has only 13% women entrepreneurs in its entire entrepreneurial strength. It should be 48 or 50 because we have, according to the census, 2011 census, we have more than 49% of our population as women and girl children. In fact, in the Atal tinkering labs that we have implemented, 70% of our tinkering labs are in girls and co-ed schools. And it is this that is enabling young girl children to be able to respond beautifully, that technology is able to enable them. You see, girls and women by default are detail-oriented, more communicative. They are willing to talk about problems, seek help, and this is what we found manifesting itself in the innovation challenges that we launched. In the last Tinkering Marathon, which was announced yesterday, 150 teams were selected across the nation out of more than 4,000 innovation entries that were given to the Atal Tinkering Labs from school students. And 45% of the winners in this top 150 are girl students. Now, isn't that an amazing thing to find that girl students are performing so well? And if India changes and transforms itself into an inclusive nation that it should, we will have tremendous progress from an economic as well as from a societal point of view. Now, coming back to the world of challenges, we launch what are known as Atal New India Challenges, along with ministries and with the industry, in order for you to be able to come up with solutions and products. But every one of these today becomes a powerful solution which can reach across to the remotest parts of our country when we integrate them with technology. And especially most of the solutions that we see are having elements of artificial intelligence. Every one of them is integrated with IoT. Every one of them has a digital component of app development so that you can further the power of the innovation to the last mile. From using digital technology, using the internet, and using a mobile app, you are able to sell any product from anywhere in the world to any other part of the world. You are able to reach across for your distribution network. you're able to reach across for access to knowledge and information. I mean, the world is a world of possibilities. And therefore, every one of us have to plunge into this world of emerging technologies, artificial intelligence, blockchain, solutioning, leveraging IoT, robotics, and all the new nano computing and cognitive computing that is all coming up in the world. And we have to become an instrument of change for the rest of the world. We have to lead by example. And those of us who have been fortunate to have access to good education and a good working environment and the ability to become an entrepreneur or an innovator should become one, or should at least acquire that mindset so that it helps you in whatever you're doing, wherever you are. And finally, I'd like to just echo the opportunities which is reflected through the Atmanirbhar Bharat so eloquently expressed by the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister said that there are 5 pillars on which Atmanirbhar Bharat or a self-reliant India stands. And a self-reliant India is not an isolated India. It is an India which is leveraging the 5 pillars, a pillar of demographic dividend, which we all need to harness, because this is a unique opportunity for India and Indian students and Indian youth to make an impact on the rest of the world. The second is the pillar of infrastructure. We need to develop uniformly as a country, not just in the physical infrastructure, but also in the digital highways and the digital infrastructure that is required in our country. That means a huge set of opportunities for smart cities, smart water management, smart electricity management, smart housing, you name it. Every field has the opportunity to integrate technology and artificial intelligence into the solutioning. The third is the pillar of demand. The pillar of demand, which is 1.3 billion people. We don't need to look elsewhere for solving problems and creating markets. The market is right here. How do we tap into it? How do we not just let it go to competition from outside, but rouse our inner innovative capability to create solutions to fulfill this demand? The fourth is the pillar of technology, and we have already talked enough about it. Technology has to drive all the demand, fulfillment of the demand, fulfillment of the infrastructure requirements, and fulfillment of the demographic dividend potential that we talk about. And finally, he said the pillar of socio-economic progress. Society has to develop equally with economic prosperity of a country. We cannot be just talking about digital divides and economic divides and hoping that it will disappear. You need AI for social good. You need to harness technology for social good. You need to ensure that social innovations become an integral part of your thinking, an integral fabric of your innovation. If you don't do that, if our innovations are not sustainable, if they don't align themselves with the sustainable development goals, we are going to create a world which we will repent. So we have an opportunity to use technology for good, to use innovations for societal good. And unless we carry the society along, unless we carry the 1.3 billion people along, we would not have done service either to our nation or to the world. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to share a few thoughts on this occasion. And I look forward to Sri Ravi taking this forward with his insights, his experience, and his academic brilliance that